Oh man, but look, hey, let's go. I think that's a perfect segue because we are 3 games out, ladies and gentlemen. We have a game with Philly this week. Then we have the Atlanta game that's been flexed to Sunday night, and then we have the Dallas game. 3 games for a shot to have double-digit wins this season.
Mhm.
Definitely a possibility to get into the playoffs. What is our road to the playoffs, Will?
We control our destiny, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
How awesome is that? You know, we talked last week. We looked at the playoff scenarios and looked at our schedule and said, what do you think we got? We have 4 games left. I think we predicted at the very least 2-2, but we definitely said, I said 3-1. Last week we got our first one, which is the Saints one. This week against Philly, this is actually, I think we went saying that we were going to get the loss. But then we've got big game, week 17 versus the Falcons.
Oh, yeah.
That is like the key. That is the key right there. Because if we beat them, they cannot beat us in any type of tiebreaker scenarios, essentially, moving forward. And the Falcons, don't have the easiest. Well, actually, they do have a pretty easy route ahead of them. They got the Giants, us, and then the Panthers. So we have to beat the Falcons on Sunday Night Football. Just got flexed to it. So yeah, the best part there is we hold the key to making the playoffs.
Yes, you hold the key to a December to remember, Will.
That's right. I do have a December to remember. Look at that. Look at that.
Let's go. I love it. Absolutely. Yeah. So, hey, it's right in front of us. And for all intents and purposes, the Atlanta game now, especially that they're having a backup quarterback, we will see who knows how he'll do, but they're playing for their playoff lives as well. And then you have a Dallas game where I really feel like, again, we should be favored. We should be able to get this done. But as we saw in the first game, you don't hold your breath. You know what I mean? We don't know. That Philly game that's coming up this week, I believe, is the X factor. And depending on kind of where we go, I don't know. Does it make a difference if we win all 3 of these? Does it make a difference in seeding?
Seeding, probably not. I mean, the Packers are 10-4, so I mean, the Packers would have to lose a few in order for us to jump them. But I think we're pretty much cemented into that 7th, the final wild card spot. So this, beating Philly obviously makes it that much harder or it puts a whole lot more onus on the Falcons that they must win out if they want to get past us. But if you, in all honesty, this is kind of the one game you can probably lose and still be all right.
Yeah, Green Bay's 10-4, and they have remaining Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
What else they have? Minnesota, New Orleans, and Chicago.
Yeah, so I mean,
2 wins there at least.
Yeah, they've got winnable opportunity there for the Packers. Yeah, so it's that's what I'm kind of like. We're really only going to get the 7th seed, But you look at the Rams and Seahawks; they're pretty much vying for one of those 2 teams is going to win the division, and that's all they're going to get. The Rams have the easier schedule, playing the Jets, the Cardinals, and then they play the Seahawks. So the fact that they still have to play in Week 17 kind of means if they're already 8-6, one of them's going to have a 7th loss by after that one. So they almost are pretty much going to eliminate, each other to where the division winner gets it, where the Seahawks, their road's a little bit harder. They've got the Vikings who are playing, tremendous. Bears should be a good win, but then they have to play the Rams. And so that's kind of where, we get to control our destiny. You want to play well and beat Philly. Obviously, their division rival. They're the best team or second, tied for best team in the NFC. But you don't have to. If you're going to lose one, this kind of is the game to lose. Unless we beat the Falcons, then the Week 18 game doesn't matter. But
we'll now this next question, I know to some Washington fans will be sacrilegious, but what happens if we don't win? Maybe let's say we lose both divisional games, or God forbid, lose all 3. Are we automatically out? I mean, I see we're 2 games up on Atlanta, so obviously they'd get that tiebreaker. But to your point about Seattle only being 1 game back, they have tough games. But I mean, what is there a way? I mean, obviously, if we don't win, it's hard for us to get it. But if we lose, let's say 2 out of 3, is there still a way for us to get in at 10-7?
Potentially, it would kind of depend on who is the one win against. You know, if it's against Atlanta, we would, you know, prevent them from going in. But if we, you know, don't, it's going to be, you know, it would make it whole lot harder. But yeah, I'm sure there are probably ways we can sneak in.
Oh yeah. So that's the road. It's there. It's right in front of us. So I mean, like you said, win 3 games, and we don't have to worry about all the extra stuff. We don't have to worry about what other teams are doing, X, Y, and Z. Everything's in front of us. We're in the driver's seat. Let's get it.